Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamel from Fantasy Life, and today we're going to be breaking down the phase shift. Maybe I should switch to the phase shift. Phase shift is actually one of the funnest abilities in this particular game, and it has a multiple of uses. This is a ability that can be used in any and every game mode, truthfully speaking. And it has its advantages, but it has its disadvantages. But first what we're going to do is we're going to break down the speed in which you can get it and how long it will last you. So right now we have the power cell. We're gonna wait till about 9:30 so that we can have a more accurate representation of the time. And then we'll later on to the video we'll break it down. So here we go. Here we go. Bang. So it lasts about 2 seconds once you use it. And from 9:28, it's been about 10 seconds. Wow, it takes a while to get back. It takes about 15 seconds to get it back with the power cell, and that's to get 1 bar back. So with 15 seconds with the power cell, it's going to take about 30 seconds to get both 2 bars back with the power cell. So let's try it without the power cell now. And I am going to have to take one for the team. I'm going to have to die. Maybe. All right. Bang. 8:30. So still lasts us 2 seconds, which puts it at about 8:28, but how long will it take for us to get it back? Now with my predictions, the power cell reduces it by 5 seconds, so I'm assuming it's going to take 20 seconds for it to come back, so around 8:08 we should be getting it back. And I was right, folks. So the power cell only reduces the cooldown by about 5 seconds. That is okay. For the phase shift, I probably wouldn't recommend the power cell. I would actually recommend going with the fast regen. The reason being is the phase shift is really good when trying to escape certain areas or get into certain areas undetected. And that's when it's best used. So a lot of the times, especially if you're getting shot at and you don't die immediately, best thing to do is phase out of there and run like hell. And with the fast health regen, what's going to happen is you're going to regain your health back faster. And that's what I highly recommend, especially if you get into a situation like, especially in bounty hunt or attrition, where you're in a situation where you're not favored to win any sort of gun battle. I phase out of there and I run like hell. And I'll maybe do it a second time too, depending how far I get on the first phase, because you can do this 2 times back to back, which will then extend the period of time from 2 seconds to 4 seconds. But then again, the cooldown time will be a lot longer. It'll be from 20 seconds to about 40 seconds to get all 2 bars back. And that's how I would recommend using it. Now I'm gonna get more into the breakdown later on to this video with some pre-recorded footages that I will be talking over. So I'll see you guys then.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the phase shift has multiple applications. First, I'm going to say the good, and then I'll get into the bad towards the end of the video. But first of all, I want to say that this particular tactical can be used in any game mode. I mean, any game mode. That actually includes capture the flag. So you can use this in bounty hunt, attrition, amp hardpoint is also a very good game mode to use it in, because when you're entering an area that is amped, there's most likely still somebody there. So you can phase into that particular area and kind of get the drop on them, especially if you have an idea of where they are, where they're camping at. Or even if you don't, you can run in there, you can phase in there, run, look around really quick. Once you see where they are, you can go into another phase and then kill them while they're camping. So that's why it's really good for amped hardpoint. It's good for bounty hunting attrition, just so you can get out of certain situations. If you're getting killed by a grunt or you're getting shot up by a pilot, you can escape really quickly. And that's one of the biggest benefits of this particular tactical. It is good for the escape artiste. This is so good for that, because there's been plenty of times where I've been getting shot and then I'll phase shift and get the heck out of there. That is basically the best use for it. And another great use for it is to get the drop on somebody, to get the tactical positioning on somebody. The phase shift is a tactical that is used in a competitive kind of setting. Hence the reason that in Coliseum, it's the only tactical ability you have access to. And that's because, again, you can use it for offense and defense. So if you're shot and not killed, you can use it to get out of there, or you can then use it to get into a better positioning. It has multiple applications. It's also really good in Capture the Flag. When you have the flag, you can literally run and phase out of any danger and try to get to out of that particular predicament before you end up dying with the flag. It's really good for a multiple of game modes. I also want to add the fact that this tactical is strong against most other tacticals and boosts in this particular game. So, for example, it is very good against the A wall and getting behind that A wall and killing any pilots that are behind that A wall. It is also very good against holo pilots and as well as invisible pilots because it can draw them out. You can go in, phase into a particular area. Once they give up their position and start shooting at you, you can quickly phase into another phase and then get the drop on them. So it's really good against those particular tacticals as well. I do need to mention that it needs to be used in the right hands though, because any mistakes and a holo pilot or an invisibility cloak pilot can kill you really quickly. It's also really good against pilot sentries, as you can literally run up to a pilot sentry and just before it shoots you, you can phase behind it and take it out. It's also good when escaping like nuclear titans that are trying to go nuclear and you are too close to them to run away. You can literally phase and that explosion will not damage you at all. This particular tactical does not have a lot of weaknesses, but there are some ways that you can defeat somebody who has the phase ability. And let's get into that right now. Before we actually get into the weaknesses, I forgot to mention that anybody using a sonar pulse or a map hack will temporarily lose sight of you when you go into your particular phase ability. Now, because you are in a different time slash dimension when you're in your phase, anybody who's close enough to throw the sonar pulse that will detect you, once you go into that phase ability, they're going to lose track of you, and that'll give you an opportunity to kind of sneak up on them. Same thing with the map hack. If they are close enough to you, when you go into your phase ability, they won't know where you are. You don't appear on the sonar pulse or on the map hack when you are in your phase ability. Now, anybody with a grappling hook, if they were to grapple you, if you go into the phase ability, they will lose that grapple. The grapple would simply go away and you will no longer be grappled in that phase ability. Now let's get into the weakness of it. Now I want to say the best tactical to use against phase would probably be a stim ability, but stim at its best is also on par with it. Because you are so mobile and so fast with the stim ability, it makes it very difficult for a phase person to actually get the drop on you. So that's a tactical I would highly recommend to counter phase. Another thing is the amped weapons with your boost. With the amped weapons, you die extremely quickly. So if you start shooting somebody with an amped weapon that has the phase ability, you will more than likely kill them before they can actually enter their phase ability. In the video, I did say invisibility cloak and holo pilots were weak against phase shift, but it depends who's using it. It can also be strong against it if used correctly. With a holo pilot, if the person using the phase ability falls for the trick of the holo pilot, then they would give up their position and the holo pilot would kill them. Same thing with the invisibility cloak. Now, if somebody using the invisibility cloak very well, the person using the phase ability will fall for the trick and the phase ability person will give up their position first, allowing the invisibility cloak person to shoot first. Another thing that phase ability is weak against is melees for whatever reason. There's been several times where I actually just went into my phase ability and got meleeed right out of my phase ability, which was extremely frustrating because I didn't think that once you were in your phase ability that you can be hit. But if timed correctly, if somebody throws a melee as you're going into your phase ability, they will kill you with that particular melee. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the phase shift breakdown. I hope you liked this video. If you did, drop a like. If you hated it, smack that dislike. If you want to talk more about the phase shift ability in this particular game and how you're using it and the best ways to use it, please leave it in the comments below. I am interested to know how you guys use the phase ability because, again, it can be used in multiple ways and it's a very competitive type of ability. And with that being said, remember to subscribe for more Titanfall 2 content, and remember, your life is a fantasy.